officers killed in car accident in Songkwe region. Defense in Freeman Mbowe's case to call IGP Simon Siro and former High DC Lengai Olisabaya to testify. And in sports, the Cricket Division A final between Aces and Aga Khan to be held on August 29th of this year. Good evening, this is Capital News at 9:30. My name is Vanessa Victor. Let's start things off with the national news. 5 employees of Tanzania Revenue Authority's FAST task force have died in an accident after the patrol vehicle hit a cargo lorry at Hanseketwa while chasing after a vehicle believed to be carrying illegal goods from Tunduma border.
There was a vehicle ahead of him going to Tunduma. He failed to control the vehicle and found himself in an accident. All TRI employees in the vehicle have lost their lives and their bodies have been preserved at a mortuary in a hospital. The one from Tunduma was called Bernard Mushingi. Some from Mbeya are Azaria Sifonike, who was the driver. Others are Joel Mitondwa, Saidi Budi and Fahad Hassan. Drivers should drive responsibly. We lose a lot of innocent people because of speed.
And in the terrorism case against the chairman of opposition party Chama cha Demokrasia na Maendeleo Chadema party and 3 co-accused at Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court in Dar es Salaam, the prosecution expects to have 24 witnesses, including the former Director of Criminal Investigations, Robert Boers, as well as 19 written explanations, while the defense's side revealed 2 of their witnesses will be IGP Simon Siro and former High District Commissioner Lengai Olisabaya. Here's more.
This was stated today at Kisutu Resident Magistrate Court when the prosecution was reading preliminary information to the accused before Principal Resident Magistrate Thomas Simba, where State Prosecutor Nasoro Katsuga said the state's witness from TPDF, Lieutenant Dennis Uriel, claimed he met Mbowe in Mikocheni in 2012, where he shared his movement towards the country's liberation. He said in July 2020 he met Mbowe in Mikocheni and that Mbowe said that they would like to take over the leadership of the country and that he, the lieutenant, would receive a high position, so he should find him army officers to help him in his plan to take over power and teach former High DC Lengai Olisabaya a lesson. He claimed that he called the Director of Criminal Investigations at the time, Robert Boers, where he was directed by the DCI to report each new development to ASP Ramadan Kingai. While reading DCI Boers' instructions, he claimed that he received a phone call while in Dar es Salaam from someone he did not know who informed him that there are crimes being planned against government leaders. Mbowe and 3 others who include Halfan Bwire Hassan, Adam Hassan Kasekwa, Mohammed Abdullah Lingenya, face 5 charges, including wanting to hurt former High DC Lengai Olisabaya. The case has been closed at Kisutu Resident Magistrate and will now be moved to High Court.
The CCM party Bishop Josephat Gwajima has gone to Parliament in Dodoma in response to the summons by the Speaker of Parliament, Job Ndugai, which required him to appear before the Parliament's Rights, Ethics and Powers Committee to answer to various allegations against him, including lying and lowering the Parliament's status and respect.
Naomba nitumie hiki. Hapa kuna kiti chako hapa, kuna utaratibu ambao umepangwa.
Naomba nisikitumie mwenyekiti.
Ni sawa.
Naomba nitumie hiki.
Ni sawa. Kama unatumia hiko basi kisogeze hapo kwetu.
Na kisogeza.
Tunaomba mtondolee hicho. Alafu usogee hapa kwenye mic hiyo.
Kama kuna nyingine naomba pia nipewe nyingine.
Kuna neno ni jamani, ukisha kwa nini? Hebu mbadilishieni mic. Waheshimiwa, naomba waheshimiwa, nadhani Hassan wako tayari. Ameomba abadilishiwe kiti, amebadilishiwa kama shehe wetu, pia naomba pia na mic abadilishiwe. Ni kitu ambacho hakina shida, ila naomba uweze hiyo mic kisha kubadilishia hapo ili tuwe tunaweza kuonana sawa sawa hapo. Mheshimiwa Shahidi.
Naam, kufanya hivyo utasogea kwenye mic.
Hakuna neno kabisa. Una uhuru wa kufanya hivyo ili tuwe tunaweza kuwasiliana moja kwa moja.
Nashukuru mwenyekiti.
Asante sana. Tumemaliza kusikiliza.
We have finished listening to a witness, Honorable Josephat Matias Kojima. We are thankful for showing the cooperation we expected. This issue is still on. One of the works of this committee is to investigate what anyone who violates the laws of the justice, protection and authority of Parliament is accused and the rules of the Parliament. We also listened to him, but his case is still in progress.
Bado swala hili linaendelea.
The second accused, Sylvester Nyegu, in the armed robbery case number 105 of 2021, facing former High District Commissioner Lengai Olisabaya and 2 others, has completed his defense today, with the third accused starting his defense. Here is more.
After completing his defense before Senior Resident Magistrate Odira Amoro during the cross-examination by State Prosecutor Tumaini Kweka, the second accused continued to maintain that he was not the assistant of the first accused, Lengai Olisabaya, while he was High DC, but that he was a volunteer in High District Agricultural Division until 27th of May, when he was called by the Prevention and Combating of Corruption Bureau PCCB. On his part, the third accused, Daniel Mbura, led by Advocate Msomi Fridolin Gwemera, under oath, said on the 16th of February he received a call from the 9th witness, Evariste Mwamengo, wanting him to go to Arusha police station, where he was supposed to identify 2 people, after which he was allowed to leave until June 4th, where he was called again by the same person, and when he got to the station he was put in the car and taken to court and was told to inform his relatives to come to sponsor him. The third accused, Daniel Mbura, also denied knowing about the identification made by the 9th prosecution witness, stating that even the information provided in court did not contain his real name, but instead stated Daniel Mbura, and asked the court to release him. Government prosecutors Baraka Mgaya and Felix Kwetukia cross-examined the accused and asked why the defense did not oppose the identification documents. Due to time, Senior Resident Magistrate Odira Amoro adjourned the case to tomorrow, August 24th.
And the traffic force has detained and suspended for 6 months the license of Sauli bus, who caused an accident that caused 4 people to suffer injuries after it left its course and hit a lorry while overtaking at Kibaha, Kwa Mbonde area in the coast region.
Lakini nimeona kwa kitendo hiki dereva huyu astahili amepoteza sifa za kuendelea.
By this action, this driver has lost the qualifications to continue being a driver. After 6 months, he will have to sit for the exam, and if he is confirmed that he is suitable to continue to drive the vehicle, then we can return his license. We have called the owner of these buses following complaints we receive of some of his drivers for not following road safety rules, especially by going too speed on this Mbeya route. If necessary, we will hand over to the relevant authorities to be considered if he is eligible to continue with this business.
Katika eneo la Kwa Mbonde,
Earlier today in Kwambonde area, picha ya ndege Kibaha, an accident occurred of a bus with a registration number T418 DWF Scania type, property of Seoul Company, conducting its route from Dar to Tunduma, but also STL, STK, STM, UT, SM, PU continue to obey road safety laws.
Tanzania Commission of Universities has opened a second registration window and told students to avoid being deceived by fraudsters who identify themselves as agents or advisors claiming to provide services on how to get into higher learning institutions.
Pia kutoa tahadhari.
We would like to inform the public that our universities in the country have websites that they are reachable with their numbers and locations. There is no need of consulting any kind of agents. In this regard, I am alerting to all candidates to seek admissions direct to universities and not otherwise. It is not ideal for people to use agents. It is best for people to do the admissions on their own.
And the Minister of Finance and Planning, Mwigulu Nchemba, said the union between Tanganyika and Zanzibar continues to grow stronger after a joint meeting with ministers from both governments, where the two agreed to resolve various challenges, including finances.
Kwa kiwango kikubwa tumekuja na
We have come up with answers from challenges that used to occur on matters of finance. Many that were confusing citizens from both Tanzania mainland and the Isles. Although we have also brought new agendas to inform the meeting because solutions have been made. Tanzanians should know that we are working on different opinions regarding issues of our union. Let us be patient. The Minister's Cabinet is currently holding meetings, and tomorrow, hopefully, we shall come up with a statement on what has been worked on so far. They are here to witness developments done from our union.
More than 300 illegal fishing equipment worth 197 million shillings that were recently seized in Lake Victoria near islands in Muleba District, Kagera region, have been destroyed by fire. This operation was implemented during the opening of an international fish market.
For those who are using illegal fishing methods should stop so that traders from Uganda, Burundi and Rwanda can be able to get the fish which has international standards. This warehouse was constructed at the cost of 51 million Tanzania shillings. Funds were collected from domestic revenue. I congratulate the government for opening this market so that we can start bringing our goods. Meanwhile, I call on the government to help us putting proper arrangements within the warehouse.
And that is all for the national news. International news is next.
Are you ready for some great news? I'm Christine Mundwa.
And I am Eddie Micah Jr. with the brand new DW News Africa,
the show that tackles the issues shaping the continent.
Now with more time to offer an in-depth look at all the trends that matter to you.
What's making the headlines and what's behind them?
We're on the streets to give you in-depth reports and insights.
DW News Africa.
And in international news. In Kenya, long queues of people have been seen at various COVID-19 vaccination centers on the last day for public servants to get vaccinated, with the government announcing that no employee will receive a salary this month if they have not been vaccinated. The developments come as Kenya on Monday received 880,460 doses of Moderna COVID-19 vaccine donated by the United States government through the COVAX facility.
Huko na imeenea sana katika kule mashinani, na kwa hivyo tunahimiza kwamba lazima wafuate hiyo masharti. Polisi tumeakiza lazima wajitokeze ili
government iweke sehemu nyingi za kupiga injection kwa sababu tupunguze usongamano.
The Minister of Education in Uganda, Janet Museveni, has directed lecturers, teachers and employees from higher learning institutions and schools in the country to get vaccinated against COVID-19 before returning to work. The directive comes when the Council of Ministers has received recommendations for reopening of schools which have not yet been approved.
We are going to ask head
teachers and heads of these institutions that no teacher should get into schools without being vaccinated. We will make sure everyone is vaccinated and not otherwise. Everyone wants the schools to open, and we also do. But we cannot just wake up without doing anything and allow it, or else we will find ourselves back to what made us close these schools.
The Taliban has said that they will not agree to an extension of the evacuation mission from Afghanistan and warned of consequences. Here is more on this report.
A member of the Taliban delegation in Doha, Qatar, said the move would mean extending occupation, and that is a red line. U.S. President Joe Biden said on Sunday that airlift of Americans and tens of thousands of others from Afghanistan's capital is accelerating, but he would not rule out extending it beyond the August 31st deadline, he said before the Taliban's swift takeover. The airport has been the scene of chaos since the Taliban seized the Afghan capital on August 15th, as U.S. and international forces tried to evacuate citizens and vulnerable Afghanistan, with NATO saying that at least 20 people have died in and around the airport in the past week.
That's where we leave off with the international news. We'll be back with business news after this short break.
Tune in to Business Edition and meet business leaders and experts who keep you informed on business and economic developments taking place in the country, such as tourism, construction, energy, transport, mining, agriculture, communication, banking, real estate, and more. Business Edition on Friday at 8:15 p.m. only on Capital Television.
And in business news, Tanzania Ports Authority has said trade between Tanzania and Burundi has increased after allocating Kwala area and coast region as a dry port for cargo going to Burundi as part of implementation of a directive given by President Samia Suluhu Hassan during a tour on the 16th and 17th of July this year. And the Ministry of Industry and Trade have said that it is implementing a strategy aimed at increasing sugar production in various regions of the country by 2,000 tons in order to address the problem of sugar shortage.
Almost 200,000 tons. We believe that by next year, the challenge of sugar would have been contained in the country. Again, with efforts of increasing productions at lower levels, it implies that in few years to come, the problem of sugar scarcity will be history.
kiwanda chako kwa muda wa masaa 10, sio masaa 24, masaa 10.
If they will manage to run factories for 10 hours within 24 hours, then that factory is capable of making 10 tons of sugar every day.
Tengeneza tani 10 za sukari kwa siku.
And the Tanzania Ports Authority has said trade between Tanzania and Burundi has increased after allocating Kwala area in the coast region as a dry port for cargo going to Burundi. This is part of implementation of a directive given by President Samia Suluhu Hassan during a tour on the 16th and 17th of July this year.
Wakitoka wakiona bandari ya Dar es Salaam wataenda pia kuona.
After visiting Dar es Salaam port, then they will go to visit the Kwala dry port. When all processes are complete, then it will be used by our fellows from Burundi as a place to put their consignment.
Kuweka mizigo yao na kufanya zile taratibu za kibandari kabla ya kusafirishwa kwenda Burundi.
The government, through the Cereal and Other Produce Board of Tanzania, CPB, has received machinery and spare parts from Turkey to be installed at a rice processing factory to be constructed at Mkuyuni area in Mwanza at a cost of 6.4 billion shillings.
Lakini pia kwenda nchi ya Komoro. Mkakati wetu ni kuhakikisha kwamba
our plan is to get markets for agricultural produce within and outside the country, so that after a few years the problem of markets will end.
Tutakuwa na masoko ya kutosha kabisa nchi za nje ambapo tunapeleka masoko ya wakulima.
The first job was done in July. We believe a week from now they will complete machinery building. We thank Honorable President for recognizing that the Prisons Force is a government institution that can handle this task.
That's all for business news. Sport is next.
Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Away first time, good start from Bolt. Bolt leading a moment and going away. Gay trying to go with him and he's going to be dragged through the second place, but he's going to win it by 2 meters. Opposition, Joaquinho, he did lose to Len.
And now in sports. The National Cricket Association has announced that the Cricket Division A final between Aces and Aga Khan will now be held on August 29th of this year.
Ndio tunawaita tu washabiki wote wa cricket wafike uwanjani, wafike leader.
We are calling on all cricket fans to come in large numbers to Leaders Club grounds to witness who will be the winner between these two teams. After this event, we will have the new season of Division A.
Shindano michuano hii baada ya mwezi mbili, kwa hiyo tunaingia kwenye APL baada ya hii 50 overs iishe.
And Barry Katwila says he will remain at Ihefu Football Club despite the team's relegation to First Division.
Ligi au kitu ninachokifanya mimi ni
What I'm doing is for soccer. So, being in the Premier League or not, I am still in soccer. And I can work the same way I was working in the Premier League. The First Division is a tough league, like any other league. Bring a new challenge to the league and make it better.
Ligi kuu inavyokuwa na makocha ambao kuwa wako bora na viwango. Kwa hiyo imefika mimi muda wangu kufanya kazi katika ligi daraja la kwanza, basi nitafanya kazi hiyo.
Marseille players did not return for the restart of the Ligue 1 match with Nice after ugly clashes with home fans forced the referee to abandon the game.
The game was originally suspended in the 75th minute when Marseille players and Nice fans had to be separated after bottles were thrown between the two during their league match. As on pitch, melee ensued and the game had to be delayed by the match officials. The former West Ham man Dimitri Payet was hit on the back of the head by a bottle launched from the stands, which the Marseille forward threw back towards Nice fans, resulting in players and supporters clashing on the pitch. Nice players and stewards tried to intervene, but more projectiles were thrown, and the referee made the decision to take the teams off the pitch.
And Liverpool have agreed to a 9.5 million fee with Lyon for the sale of Xherdan Shaqiri. Here are more details.
The Swiss international has now been given permission to undergo a medical in France, with the transfer now a mere formality after personal terms were agreed. The 29-year-old enjoyed a fine Euro 2020, scoring 3 times as Switzerland made it to the quarterfinals, and requested a move from Merseyside following the tournament. Shaqiri played 63 times for Liverpool following his £13.75 million move from Stoke in 2018, and will be fondly remembered by supporters for his double against Manchester United at Anfield in December 2018. Injuries, however, have always blighted his career at the club, and the playmaker struggled to put a run of games together.
Liverpool are refusing to release Mohamed Salah for the 2022 World Cup qualification duty, the Egyptian Football Federation has revealed, with the Red superstar set to sit out upcoming meetings with Angola and Gabon.
The Pharaohs are due to be in first and second round qualifying action in September, but their talismanic figure will not form part of their plans. That is because Premier League heavyweights are following advice regarding the spread of coronavirus, while also being reluctant to see Salah forced in quarantine once he returns to Britain from international duty. This is not the first time that Liverpool have prevented Salah from linking up with his country, with the Egyptian FA left disappointed by a decision from Anfield not to release the 29-year-old for Olympic duty.
And that sports item ends our news bulletin. On behalf of everyone who worked to bring you this bulletin, my name is Vanessa Victor. Thank you for watching. Have a good night.